Hello, this is Jack Jackson. In this video, we're going to talk about a little bit of the beginnings of computer science, the very beginnings. Now, you may remember that there was some earlier work with mechanical computing devices. For example, the Pascaline was developed by Blaise Pascal much earlier, but in the 19th century, there was a guy named Charles Babbage, and he was born in 1791, died in 1871 in England. He invented the principle of the analytical machine, which is the forerunner of modern computers. He studied at Cambridge and preferred the notation of Leibniz from the books that he read. He founded a group in England to promote Leibniz notation and calculus, and that helped to bring that notation back into uh, English British calculus. In 1819, he began working on a mechanical calculator called the difference engine. And you can see his difference engine pictured here on the left, as well as, of course, a painting of him. The goal of this machine was to produce tables of calculations that took mathematicians an inordinate amount of time and were prone to human error. And his difference engine could perform many complex calculations, but really only using a mechanism for performing addition. He also had a vision of a more advanced analytical machine, which would be capable of much more. And he designed this analytical machine, and his design concepts were foundational in later computer design. And because of his creation of the difference machine and his design work on the analytical machine, he is often considered the founder of modern computers. He stopped working on the analytical machine in 1834, in part due to lack of adequate funding. He was never able to complete an operational analytical machine, but he did have this operational difference engine. The next person I want to talk about is Ada Lovelace. She was the first computer programmer. She was born Augusta Ada Byron in 1815 and she died in 1852 in England. And her father was Lord Byron, who is a very famous poet. But her parents separated one month after she was born, and she really had no contact with her father. Her father also died when she was fairly young. And her mother, of course, had some hard feelings toward Lord Byron, and she wanted Ada to become nothing like her father. She worked very hard to make sure she did not become a poet. Her mother liked mathematics, and her father showed no mathematical inclination, so her mother encouraged her to study mathematics under a series of private tutors. In 1835, she married William King, so now her name became Augusta Ada King. Now, William King became the Earl of Lovelace in 1838, and so now Augusta King, Augusta Ada King, was the Countess of Lovelace. So, hence the name Ada Lovelace. A couple of years before she married King, 1833, she met Charles Babbage, who we just talked about, and she was introduced to his difference engine. Ada understood its workings and saw its great potential. After having three children in 1841, she began advanced mathematical study under De Morgan. And one of the things she did is she worked out means of performing many calculations via programming Babbage's mechanical calculator, and she published her work under the name AAL. She died of cancer at age 37. So because of what she was able to program the Babbage's difference machine, she is considered the world's first computer programmer. So the foundations of computer science really go back to the 19th century with the work of Babbage and Lovelace.